Okay, let's do this fucking shit.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to the Inept Pit podcast. It is episode 46. I am your host, Drew Campbell. Yeah, they're fat guys, Evan Sasiela.
What's up, everybody?
As obvious, Evan is recording on his phone because he lives in a third world country that has no internet anymore.
There was a storm, I believe, and the outage knocked out the Wi-Fi.
Isn't that what you said 2 weeks ago?
You've had many storms,
How long have
literally
you
and
not?
figuratively.
How long have you not had internet?
Probably about Friday morning, Thursday night,
Okay.
Friday morning.
Are you sure you live in America? Are you sure you don't live in Haiti, where the earthquakes are ravaging? Because it's the most shitty place on the planet to live, apparently. Unfortunately for them, nothing against Haiti people, but they get fucked over a lot.
Well, I'm trying to get a hold of my service provider, and I haven't had a whole lot of luck.
Are you sure that exist?
That's a good question. I think I'm looking in the wrong places.
Okay. Well, you know what? Hopefully Evan has internet eventually because, as we know, it is now...
Podcast would die without it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot would die without it. I'm pretty sure I would die without the podcast. So this is all I got left, Evan.
Nah, you got plenty.
Yeah, sure. You don't know. You have no idea all this shit I'm about to tell you.
Oh, I'm looking for a...
Be fun, but let's start on a happy note. Evan, you went and saw Dave Chappelle. How was that?
It was one of the best professional stand-up shows, like a touring comedian I've ever been to.
So he was funny.
Yes, he was hilarious.
Oh, he was actually. That's good news. I'm glad to hear that.
Oh my!
You know my skeptic. Were you a fan of the YouTube videos he'd been dropping, those mini specials?
Well, I could see why they did them. I mean, I don't think they were supposed to be super funny. I think he's just
that's weird. Stand-up comic doing stand-up comedy. That's not supposed to be funny. Seems like an oxymoron, if you ask me.
He's got a platform. I think he's just trying to get his message across.
Which is, I don't make enough money. I feel smallest fiddle of all time for the millionaire Dave Chappelle.
You're not going to believe who opened for him.
Who opened for him?
Well, the first comic, his name was, I think his name is Marshall Brandon. He was pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
But the next comic that came up was Jeff Ross.
No shit, really?
Jeff Ross did like a half hour. He did like 15 minutes of, stand up, and they brought like 8 to 10 people out, and then
roast
of them. Yeah.
Oh shit, that's pretty cool. I bet you got hype as hell for that.
The whole crowd did. And then next comic was Donnell Rawlings.
Well, that makes sense because Donnell Rawlings just lives off of Dave Chappelle's coattails.
I think he did like 10 minutes, and a lot of it was about the song "Wet Ass Pussy."
That sounds like Donnell Rawlings.
He's funny.
He's funny, but ever since he had that Kill Tony appearance where he got super butthurt and laughed, I haven't been as big of a fan of him.
And then Dave has a DJ on tour with him, and then
of course
he asked like the whole crowd to like stand up, and he was playing like 80s, 90s, like Motown songs, was trying to get the crowd hype, and then Dave did an hour. It was for his Netflix taping.
So they were taping.
Yeah, I think they were taping multiple shows, but he said that was the big one.
Nice. So maybe we'll see you.
No, I was up in the balcony.
How much did you pay for your balcony ticket?
I don't know if I want to share that publicly.
Share it publicly. I want
to know. North of 100, shy of 110.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not that bad. I know some people are paying like $300 something for tickets to go see him.
Oh yeah, I told myself if it was, north of 150, I would say, eh.
I like how you keep using north for
yeah, something about that.
Mm-hmm. And so that was fun. Anything notable you want to mention from that, or?
I don't know. I think it'd be best, when it comes out, you should watch
You don't
it.
want to bring up material. Good on you. I'll watch it. I'll give it a shot, and I'll report back in a few months when I hear it. See my
All
actual
right.
opinions, because I've been getting bitter about how Dave Chappelle has been.
Oh yeah, I know.
Was it super politically charged, or was it more silly?
A little bit of both. I think he starts off silly, and then it's not politically charged, but he's basically, he's trying to, I guess, repair some wrongs from the past. I'll just leave it at that.
So can I say, does he apologize for something? Does he correct himself on issues?
Kind of.
Okay, well, that's
I guess he's
interesting.
trying to explain his viewpoint because he think a lot of people, I think, were misunderstood him or tried to misinterpret what he was saying in past specials.
Right,
I guess
probably.
he's trying to clear the air a little bit.
Probably about the trans community is what I'd probably guess the most, right? Because he got a lot of flack about that in the past.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
All right, cool. And then you went and saw Kings of Leon. How bland white Nilla wafer was that show? Because I was just
Very.
trying to explain to my friend about how like you went and saw Kings of Leon. Like, he didn't like it. I'm like, well, Evan likes kind of all the bland white music that came out while we were kind of like in middle school. That's like your jam, like your big U2. When U2 didn't come out then, but they're still dropping hits. You like Coldplay a lot. Very bland
Yeah, I
white
mean,
person music, and like Kings of
I
Leon definitely fall. The Killers,
oh, I love the Killers. They just dropped a new album that's really good. It's like their best album since Sam's Town. It's
See,
a concept album. It's
ooh,
pretty
okay. Well,
good.
now you're getting me hard. I'm not a big Killers fan, but I like the concept. I do like the song "The Man." The Man is like, I'm not a big Killers fan, but then they dropped that song. I'm like, all right, this song fucking rips. Like, this is a good
They've
ass
now
song.
released 2 albums since that song came out. They are putting in work.
Yeah, but are they?
They released 2 albums during the
Just because
pandemic.
you're doing work, I'm a bigger fan of work smarter, not harder. Just because you're putting in albums doesn't mean they're good albums.
Yeah, I mean, I think the last 2 are really good
Okay, well, you know
for the
what?
Killers.
I'm not gonna put you down. I'm not gonna try to yuck your yum right now. I'm gonna let you enjoy it.
The Kings of Leon was it was good. Cold War Kids Open.
Cold War Kids kick ass. I like Cold War Kids.
I was looking around the crowd and I'm like, people are just sitting down, talking on their phones, not getting into it. I'm like, this is Cold War Kids.
Cold
They're
War
a pretty
Kids.
decent band.
I would argue Cold War Kids are a way better band than Kings of Leon.
After
I
seeing
mean,
Kings of Leon live, they're really good live.
I've seen Cold War Kids live. They're really good live. I saw them at the Austin City Limits, and that was like early on in their career where they didn't really have that many songs. They were still good then. The category has
Yeah,
only expanded.
last night, that was my 3rd time seeing them live. And they're
Kings
really
of Leon
good.
or Cold War Kids?
Cold War Kids.
Yeah, no, they're good. Kings of Leon, yeah,
No, they were good live. I wasn't
yeah,
really into Kings of Leon, and I bought their
yeah.
recent album, and I thought it was pretty good.
So you
They
bought their
played like
tickets just off that, or did you go because of Cold War Kids, but
I
also
was,
Kings of Leon?
yeah, I was like, I want to go for Cold War Kids because they, it's just coming through Michigan, and I'm like, all right, Kings of Leon, everyone knows "Use Somebody,"
I want to use somebody.
somebody, dude. They closed with that. That was like their like absolutely last song of the encore,
Mhm.
and then people were leaving after the main set because he was like, all right, good night, everyone. He's throwing guitar picks in the crowd. I'm
Well,
like,
everyone does
why
that
are
no
you guys?
matter.
Why are you all leaving?
Well, dude, yeah, but everyone does that. Some people just don't want to go to shows. I left my first concert ever and didn't see the encore the first time. When I saw Guns N' Roses, I didn't see their encore.
Oh, is this
Not
because you
by
thought it was
not
over?
by choice. The person I went to had prior obligations that we had to attain to. We didn't realize the show was going to run that late. Some things are more important than seeing Guns N' Roses live,
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't say those words.
Well, they
No, but
played
some
like,
things are more important, and you have to, sometimes you don't realize time schedules. I mean, that fucking show, I went to see Guns N' Roses. The show started at 6. They were still going so I thought they're going to be done at 10, right?
yeah.
Like, this concert can't be more than 4 hours. 10:07, they hadn't even gotten off the stage yet. So they haven't done their they haven't even left to do their encore yet. And we're like, fuck, we gotta be back in town by midnight. We got a piece.
Kings of Leon played from like 8:50 to 10:50. They played 2 hours last night.
Dude, I mean, Guns N' Roses had played at that point when I saw them about over 2 hours. And that was before they did their encore.
I saw Hella Mega.
Way over 2 hours. They probably went on stage. They were already they were at like over 2.5 hours, and they still didn't even end their main set yet.
Hella Mega Tour was 5.5 hours.
I've been to shows that long, but I'd have to really, really like it to be able to endure all that.
Yeah, it was an experience.
Was it a dumb white experience?
I enjoyed
Fall Out Boy show up? I heard Fall Out Boy dropped out on some tour dates.
Yeah, one of them. I think one of the team members had COVID, but yeah, they were there. They played like 14, 15 songs. Then Green Day played for like 2 hours, and they were the headliner.
Well, I kind of heard that. What is his name? Billy Joel or whatever the fuck. I heard he's a cunt if he doesn't get his full time in.
Yeah, there's an incident like in the past. He like at some music festival where he criticized. They're like, you let Usher go longer. We're supposed to be playing. And he like stormed off the stage and stuff.
And then Usher just kicked his ass backstage.
Probably.
Usher just put him in a headlock and beat the shit out of his hipster ass.
Nobody wants to hear Basket Case again.
That's good, man. I'm glad you've been doing well. You're having fun.
Well, I have no money. That was the big three right there. Those three events.
Welcome to my world, but for different reasons. Should I go now?
I guess.
Okay. Okay. We'll start with the mid of the week, right? We won't get too much into the details of this, but I had a falling out with a close person to me, but out of respect to their privacy, I will not go into any more details, but just know it fucking sucked. So that was like the beginning of all this, right? Also, I didn't mention on the podcast, I'm finding a new place to live. I have to have a new place to live at the end of the month. So that's always fun, right? So then Thursday kind of goes by just, feeling dog shit, right? And then make it through work. Friday happens. Go to work, driving just my normal route, listen to music on my phone. It's on my dash, right? Hit a bump on the road, and out of some black magic miracle, I honestly can't explain this except for it has to be like I must have pissed off like a witch doctor or something, or a witch. Someone cursed me, right? Because out of some black magic, I hit a bump, and my phone that's sitting in the center console flies up in the air and then just shoots right out of my truck and flies out the window of my truck on the highway. I don't even know how that's even possible in the realm of physics. I mean, clearly it is, but I mean, I'm telling you, I saw with my own eyes, it shot up in the air and then just went right. Like it just took a direct turn right. So my phone flies out. Look at Evan. Look at him just being fed. So my phone flies out of and my phone was already not in great condition, flies out of the window of the truck, and I'm like fucking slam on the brakes. I'm like, how the hell? I legit remember slamming on the brakes and just yelling, how is this possible? So I grab my phone. Now the screen on my phone doesn't work unless it's in the charger. Like I can answer, it works, but it doesn't visibly show up unless it's on. So that sucks, right? Not a great start to anyone's day. This is the morning, right?
Yeah.
This is the morning. So I get done with work, Great White Rhino has a gig. I'm all stoked with that. But I get to the gig, I'm dealing with a lot of shit with the phone. This the falling out, stresses of life in general, not having a good day. I'm out of this gig, dude. We sucked. And I blame it all on me. Like I fucked up so many songs. I was just out of this. Like I was like, have you ever you'll know, have you ever done stand-up and you have some shit going on and you're just out of the set and you bomb because of that, and you even know it's kind of that, like you're not fully into it?
Yeah, definitely.
That was me. It's like I'm playing a song, but I kept not focusing and I was missing changes. I was fucking up fills and stuff like that. I mean, people said we were good afterwards, but I'm like, you have to be lying. Like that felt like dog shit. Like I was like the whole time I'm like, you fucking asshole. Like I remember what I dropped a stick during a song.
You're
Yeah,
just
I
playing with
fucked up so bad. I
one
don't know
hand.
what I dropped my stick. I mean, I stopped playing the high. I'm like, I was decent enough to correct it. Where I mean, I guess if you're really drunk or something like that, you probably wouldn't notice because I was just playing. I just kept playing the kick drum and the snare, and then reached down, grabbed it, picked it back up, and did the shit. But it was just like, God damn it, I look like a dickhead. Like, you know. So the fucking set was weird and shit like that. And so I get done with the set. Closing band goes on. We were second to closer. They finish up. They have a great set. I say my goodbyes, whatever. I'm like, all right, gonna go leave. So I go outside, get to my car, right? And I'm like, where the fuck is my car? Like, I'm looking to where my car is. I know exactly where I parked. I'm looking at the street and I'm like, fuck happened to my car? And that's when like panic ensues. I'm like, oh shit. My car's gone. Like I haven't messed up. Like, I mean, I had a few drinks, so I'm like, I know I'm not this drunk by any means. I've only had a couple drinks to like, you know, I'm like, I'm not drunk. I'm like, so I'm like, my car's gone. But I see up the road, there's fucking police sirens. I'm like, all right, fuck. Like I gotta go talk to the police. Maybe I parked in a no parking zone or some shit like that. I got my car got towed. It's either that or someone stole my car.
Yeah.
Either one sucks, right? So I run up. I mean, fucking either one is like the next day you're gonna wish you rather sucked a dick than have to deal with the things that you're gonna have to deal with the next day with. So I run up the road and there's like a group of 3 cops, and I'm trying to act straight, and I'm like, "Yo, hey, what's up, dudes? I'm sorry to bother you or not, but like, did you guys tow a car down the road earlier tonight?" And they're like, "Yeah, what'd your car look like?" I'm like, "Ah, it's a fucking black Jeep Grand Cherokee." And they're like, well, I hate to break it to you, buddy, but your car's totaled. And I was like, what? Like, and in my mind, none of this is registering. So I'm just thinking, I'm like, what? You just came up to my car and deemed it was totaled, so you towed it? That's bullshit. Like, I'm like, what are you talking about? My car's fine. I drove it here. It's not totaled. And he goes, oh yeah, some drunk driver, I think, smashed into it. It was totaled. We had to tow it. I was like, ah. These words left my mind. Went, oh, that's a lot fucking worse than get my car towed in a no parking spot. And dude, all of them burst out laughing when I said that. That's a lot fucking worse than thinking it got towed for you in a no parking spot. Like, yeah, come over to the truck. We'll give you details. So they give me like a records number of who towed it and shit like that. And then like I'm like, do you have pictures of this or anything? So the guy shows me pictures, dude. I mean, I've never seen. I mean, I don't even know how fast they were going. The road it was on was like 25, but if you look at it, it looked like my car was in a head-on collision on the fucking highway. My car was explode. Like the front of my car looked like C4 went off on it. The wheel was fucking broken. The engine was leaking out of the fucking engine. If that makes sense.
I'm like, sorry, this is bad, but this how you're describing this in like a 25 mile per hour zone. You're like, oh, I just got.
Dude, it doesn't even make sense. Like, it doesn't even legit make sense of how fucking destroyed my car was. It was up on the sidewalk. I could see from it that, like, both tires were broken. So my axle must have been snapped. No, my axle was, like, snapped into, like, 3 fucking pieces. It had to be, at least. So they give me the number for all this shit. And I'm like, oh, this fucking sucks. And I'm like, well, I'm not going home tonight. I'm like, I'm going to walk down the street. I know my brother always hangs out at this one bar. Hopefully he's there. I'll just stay the night at his house. So I walk in and he's all excited. He goes, it's true. How you doing? I'm like, well, my car's fucking gone. Like, I'm like, I don't have a car anymore. He's like, what happened? I'm like, some drunk driver ruined my life. So I have a drink there. I go upstairs. I sit. I wake up at his house the next day. He's like, all right, we'll take you to like the records. We'll figure out what's going on. I'm like, all right. So I'm like, wake up in the morning. I call the record. I'm like, hey, last night I talked to a cop. My car was missing. He said someone hit my car. They got it towed. He's like, yeah. What's your car look like? I'm like, I don't know. It's a black Jeep Grand Cherokee, fucking, like 2005. And he goes, well, what's the VIN number? I'm like, I don't fucking know the VIN number. Like, who the fucker memorizes their VIN number? Like, I don't know. It was on Hamilton Street. Do you guys have access? Like, do you guys know what I'm talking about? And then a while, like, oh yeah, your car's here. I'm like, all right. So what's next? I've never had this happen before. He goes, all right, well, you owe us $535, and every day you don't pick it up, it's another $30. And I went, what? And he goes, yeah, it's $535. We had to tow your car, do street cleanup, and yeah, every day you don't pick it up, it's $30. It was like, dude, I mean, like, I remember legit feeling the pit, and I'm like, like when you hear news, you're like, this ruined me. Like, I'm like, am I like I have to find a place at the end of the month. I didn't have a fucking, let alone not having a car, have to pay this. And I'm like, okay, well, like I can't even drive the car, right? It's totaled, isn't it? He's like, oh yeah, it's totaled. I'm like, what the fuck am I'm supposed to pay you for this car, and then what? Like, I just get towed somewhere else? Or like, the fuck? I don't even want the car. I told him, like, I don't even want it now. Like, if I can, he goes, well, if you bring the title over here, you can just sign it over to us and we'll call it good. And I'm like, all right, I guess that's the next, I guess that's the next move, is that you guys just get to have my car. I don't know. I don't know what I did. I played a gig, and also the cops told me it happened shortly after midnight, which means we were playing Fantasy Girl while it happened. And that was the best song of the night. So I'm playing Fantasy Girl, going, get it. And then meanwhile, someone just, bam! Meanwhile, I'm smiling because one song's going exceptionally well. The crowd's going into it. Meanwhile, I have no idea. My life is being ruined about 50 yards away.
Did they catch out whoever did it? Catch them? Find out?
I don't know. The details aren't even important. Let's just go with this. I don't have a car anymore, and I'm not getting any money for it. So, yeah. And I've had, dude, you know something? I had that car. I was so excited. I finally had a decent car in my life that I fit in, and it wasn't a good car. It wasn't good, but it was the best car I've ever had.
Yeah.
It was just well enough. It wasn't even in the greatest condition, but it was just well enough where it wasn't embarrassing to be driving. Like,
I been in that car. It was a good car.
It was good enough. It was like you pulled up to it. No one was like, yeah. Like, it was just, it was fun. It was passable. And I had it for a month and a half. My one car shot out of me on the brakes. I didn't have a car for a while. Saved up, bought a car. Only had it for a month and a half. Now I don't have a car again.
Yeah, it's just some bad luck.
It has been raining shit on me. So yeah, that was my week.
Well, hope things. It's new week, new start.
And, no. This isn't gonna get better this week, Evan.
It could.
No. Evan, it's called reality. So actions have been set in place where officially my life will suck for months to come. No avoiding that. No. My life will. I have enough money. I'm going to move into this new place, like security deposit, rent, moving in costs, getting internet, all that. So I have the money saved up for that. I don't have the money for a car right now on top of it. So when we're moving into a place, I'm essentially going to live without a car. So I'm going to have to, well, first off, stand up is done for the foreseeable future. Social life, that has to go. And essentially, I'm going to be prison bound to work in my new home for the foreseeable future until I say this up. But you want to know what the positive note of all of this is?
Yeah.
Let's go to the words of the good old Dusty Rhodes, one of the greatest promos in wrestling history. This is how low my life is. I'm resulting to inspiration.
Yeah, WWE inspiration.
Yes. Dusty Rhodes once said, he goes, these are hard times breed better men. So there's one of two situations. Either the next few months are going to destroy me, or I'm going to come out the other side of this the strongest, best version of myself. I'm trying to think that's what's going to happen.
I think that's possible.
That, or I'm going to just, get a heroin addiction, and just really fall into the world of escapism. I'm going to start watching the cartoons I used to watch as a kid, because that will make me feel more comfortable, and do a bunch of heroin. And, I don't know, maybe like have grander delusions and maybe I'll just start doing magic and cursing people. Maybe we'll do that. I'm hoping is the other option. I'm really hoping.
You're just getting high watching Codename Kids Next Door.
doing heroin, just going, dude.
Yeah.
Everyone knows number 2 is the best of the team. Number 2's the funniest, and number 4's the coolest, and everyone else can go fuck themselves.
Weren't they numbers? Not numbers, numbers.
I don't fucking know, Evan. I'm not that big of a
Number
nerd.
one.
Sure. All I remember from that show are the numbers, the episode about lice, and the episode with the villain, the common cold.
Yeah.
All I remember from that show.
I remember enjoying it, but I can't remember anything from it now.
What did you think? What was your first favorite cartoon?
Like from Cartoon Network or any show?
Just the first cartoon you remember that was your favorite.
Probably SpongeBob.
See, SpongeBob was my second. I remember my first favorite cartoon was Rugrats and will always be Rugrats. The imagination involved with childhood, I loved.
Yeah,
I think that's when inspired my imagination, because it was never that they actually went on great adventures. It was always that they imagined great adventures. And that's what I'm going to be doing for the next few months when I'm on heroin in my new place. I'm going to be pretending to be climbing a mountain with Reptar, a cake mountain with Reptar on heroin.
Remember the Reptar bars they would sell at like the video stores?
Yeah, they were terrible, but Reptar, so got them anyways.
They were pretty bad. They were not good at all.
But yeah, so foreseeable future's dog shit. Evan, you're gonna have to come visit me because I have no inability to visit you anymore. For foreseeable
Hey, I'll be in
future.
town next week. So.
Oh, cool. You can try to make me not miserable.
You're like, hey, you have a car? Come on in.
Yeah, do you have a car? Do you want to drive me?
around.
I need to get groceries. Groceries sound. Hey, Evan, I got a fucking fun ass time for us playing tonight. What if we went and got groceries, dude?
It's on Friday night.
Let's get drunk and we'll just go get groceries. We'll split them 50-50 and then see how much we can eat. No, but all right. Well, let's not get downer, right? Everything's gonna be fine. I'm gonna get through this. Everything's gonna be great. Let's go in the lighter news, right? Right. Let's go to the world of the news and see how everything's getting better, right?
I know where this is going.
We're leaving Afghanistan.
Yeah, I knew it.
The Taliban have already taken over the government.
This is not playing, people. I just know Drew.
The Taliban have already taken over the government. Fantastic news for me, because it means me, to be honest, I no longer should complain about the things going on in my life. You know who's the real victims here? All those mothers that go to sleep every night about how their son or daughter went over from America to fight this war, as they would call it, for the last 20 years. And the billions of dollars of taxpayer money that was used on top of that, billions, I mean, don't quote me, might have been over $1 trillion at this point, that it was spent to, facilitate this, because it was going to do all this good work. And instead of spending that money on feeding and clothing the poor and helping out the education system in lower income areas so they wouldn't be as adverse to crime, and just helping out middle Americans with their mortgage debts so they didn't lose their homes. Instead of doing that, we invested in this and lost the lives of so many children of mothers that cry themselves to sleep every night, wishing it was them instead, only to find out the Taliban are in control again. So, Evan, let's view this as a Family Feud question. Steve Harvey comes up and goes,
"Why?"
Because it's just funny if we do, right? This is how we make it funnier, right? Steve Harvey comes up and he goes, "All right, Drew, we asked 100 people in America. We tried to find out what was the purpose of the war in Afghanistan." And I go, "Oh, Steve, this is a hard one. I'm going to go with no reason at all." And he goes, "Survey says." Ding, ding, ding. Number one answer. Number one answer. 100 out of 100. No reason at all. He goes, "Drew, how do you feel about this?" I'm like, "I don't know, man. I'm just questioning love and the idea of democracy."
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Do you care or not care? I know you're not really a politically charged person. Well, I have only recently gotten into this world because it honestly, as horrible as it is, the more I get into politics, it makes me feel like I can't complain as much about my life. Because when you realize, when you're when your future looks hopeless, you feel like you shouldn't complain about it as much when you realize the future of all Americans is technically hopeless.
If you want to put it that bleakly, yeah. Bleak.
Mutual assured destruction.
Ah. Well, there's problems all over the world.
Yes.
That's just my viewpoint. It's not just exclusive to America.
I love to see Evan on Fox News. Evan, what do you think about the problems in Afghanistan? Well, I think there's problems all over the world. That's the perfect answer. If you ever get, Evan did the number one thing. If anyone wants more anything, if you're ever at a bar or at a party and some asshole like me who is obsessed with talking about the injustice of the world, but you're just trying to have a good time, tries to ruin it by bringing up this shit, just go, well, there's problems all over the world, and it's terrible. You know. Anyways, did you try the Hamas?
Easy backpedal there.
Yeah. So yeah, Evan actually did good advice. So yeah.
Hey, it only took 46 episodes.
Yeah, you finally did something. Well, I mean, you didn't even do the good advice. I, pointed out how what Evan did was good advice.
That's true. It's very true.
Also, what he did was he supports the Taliban. Evan wanted to let you guys know that.
No, I do not.
Evan said peace, love, and Taliban.
No, I did not.
That's our new T-shirt: peace, love, and Taliban.
It would sell. There would be no sales on that. No one would buy that.
I'd buy it tomorrow.
Well, you would make it.
And I'd wear it to a soldier's funeral. Cool. Remember when your son died? Because we were promising. Remember that? Remember when he trusted the American government to not make him die for no reason at all, and then he died for no reason at all?
Then you would get dragged on social media.
Well, I mean, it's supercharged because like if we go back to, of course, I'll be dragged on social media. Like, I mean, I don't want us in Afghanistan. We shouldn't be doing like this kind of shit where we've been fucking around with other people's nations for a while, even though it's terrible over there. I mean, like, God bless the women that in that country that are going to have to, deal with the terrible living conditions that are projected over them. But it's kind of like a no win-win situation. Like, we go over these countries and we end up killing a bunch of innocents with these fucking, in crossfire and getting caught in drone strikes. And really all we're doing is getting more people to want to join the Taliban because America comes over, kind of sticks their nose in businesses that really doesn't belong to them, even if it is for, as they say, the greater good. I like to believe that we went over there so that, the people could have better rights. But of course, I mean, that's not why we went over there. Like, there's much more nefarious actions, but I like to believe that all those people died trying to create a better environment for women to live in, and also, not as much having to live under such an extreme rule. But that's what I like to believe, at least. That'll help me sleep at night.
It's kind of what Joe Biden said today. President Biden was basically like, "Yeah, I mean, I'm the fourth president under, that this is." It's been in Afghanistan. I kind of just don't want to pass off the fifth president.
I get that. I mean, I'm not even shitting on for it, but I'm shitting on the American government for a while because, I mean, we spent 20 years there and we were supposed to be training the Afghanistan military to be able to fight this stuff. And the second we even slightly disappear, we start disappearing, they just immediately are done with. So it's like, what the fuck did we do there for 20 years? Did we actually do anything there for 20 years? Were we just killing innocent children with tanks? Were we just running over the heads of innocent Afghani children with tanks, crushing their undeveloped skulls because they're still babies, like running right over the software? Was that all we were doing there for 20 years? Did we really accomplish absolutely nothing?
I love how your arms crossed during this for some reason. Were your arms crossed?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, you're like, you just seem like all just fed up, like the male Karen or something.
A male Karen, yeah. It's like I go to Joe Biden. I need to talk to your manager. Let me talk to your manager.
What happened here?
Barack Obama comes out of the back room like the Wizard of Oz.
He's like, "What's going on?"
Yeah, he's like, I'm Joe Biden. You don't think Joe Biden can actually talk, can you? Joe Biden's been dead for years. Joe Biden's not even real. He's a figment of our imaginations.
Yeah, the Wizard of Oz. It's a weird movie.
That's a nice divert again.
Yeah.
Using Afghanistan government, you had a military all along. It was in here. It was right in here. And then the Taliban drop an IED, and then boom, boom, boom. It's almost like we can't do anything right.
What, our government or us too?
That was a double for me.
You're supposed to be both of us. Yeah, both us and the government.
Well, because I could sit here and I could try to blame the government. I could also try to blame the drunk driver. But at the end of the day, I think we're not good at being good, Evan, as you would say. I mean, Jesus Christ, I think you nailed it on the head. I think all of us are not good at being good, me included.
Did they say the driver was intoxicated?
I mean, they had to be. They drove onto the wrong side of the road at exponential speeds. They were either intoxicated or they knew me and hate me so much that they took out their vengeance in the most risky way possible. Yeah. But it's not a big deal. It's a physical thing.
I think it's messed up that they made you have to pay for that.
Well, technically, I didn't pay for that. I just gave them all ownership of my vehicle. I mean, it would have been nice that I didn't have to pay for it because I could at least got scrap money for my car, but I'm not even getting that at this point. I went to a gig. I walked out. I lost one of the biggest assets in all of my earnings, like all of my generated capital. The biggest assets disappeared, and I got nothing for it. I understand the stock market crashes now. One day it's there, and the next day it's like, I just don't have this money anymore. That was crazy. All that investing for nothing.
Watch next week. The car's going to be on like the street corner. It's like for sale.
Yeah, they fixed it up. It was all a lie. That wasn't even my car. They had me sign over another car.
Yeah.
Big old illusion. That'd be funny. Do you have anything else to talk about?
Not really.
Okay. Well, recently I told you I finished the book Sapiens, and also this is a weird thing. Is like I've been reading all this bleak, fucking sad books. Like I read Sapiens. I reread The War on Normal People by Andrew Yang, and then I started reading America Farewell Tour by Chris Hedges.
Who would have thought of all people that you would be like an avid reader at this age?
I've been an avid reader before. Remember, I've now just switched to reading nonfiction avidly.
I guess that's what I mean.
Yeah, okay. Because I was like reading a bunch of Michigan, horror novels and stuff.
Yeah, Michigan Chillers and stuff when you were a kid.
No, Evan. I mean, like since we started this podcast, I read like a shit ton of Stephen King and other horror writers.
Yeah,
I just used to read a bunch of fiction. Now I've averted that to reading nonfiction because I realized if I'm going to waste my time, I might as well learn something out of it.
I'm just shocked that the middle school kid who insulted me regularly for having long fingernails is an avid reader and is
educating himself on the American political system.
Yeah.
I'm trying to become very well adept at the socio-political hemisphere.
Yeah.
Even that word surprised you coming out of my mouth.
That was. If I said that phrase like 6 years ago, you'd be like, "That's lame, you nerd."
I would have.
On those lines.
I totally would have. Yeah. I don't know. I'm fucking. You know me. I'm autistic. Weirdly enough, my obsession jumped. That's what I was telling you about. Now I'm just obsessed with. I guess you could say I'm obsessed with politics, social sciences, and sort of economics, but not economics from a business sense. Just I like learning about economics because every time I learn about economics, it just makes me realize how evil it is to be involved in any business. I mean, for the most part.
Episode 100 when you announce your political run for office.
Yeah, dude, I'm going to run for the Libertarian presidency.
The Inept Pit party.
I've been getting into libertarianism a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Not even all of it. I don't think extreme libertarianism is good. Like, I don't like the whole idea where it's like no government, everyone can do whatever they want. But some of the shit they says makes sense. Like, I do agree with like no one should go to jail for a victimless crime. That makes complete sense to me. Like, if you're a drug offender, like if you get caught with drugs, as long as like I understand selling drugs, that makes sense because that's I think a victim crime if you're selling someone with addiction. But if you're an addict getting caught with drugs, I mean, really, I think all that should happen is maybe you go to a drunk tank and not and get the shit confiscated from you. I don't think you should really serve, like fucking prison time for that. You're a victim in yourself, and the victim's you, but you're not like. I mean, like if you were on drugs and assaulted someone, that's different because it's a victim crime. But there's a lot of
man.
Or like someone who doesn't pay their taxes really shouldn't go to fucking prison. I think that's stupid.
Yeah, we need some justice reform, I believe.
Well, it's just like I think it's stupid. Like, I mean, like think of all the people that go to jail because I think of all the people that went to prison just because they had weed on. Not even like hardcore drugs. That's not so much of a thing now. They're kind of getting more lax with it.
Time.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, exactly. But it's just like, and not even weed. I mean, like I don't even give a shit. It's like I don't think you should do cocaine, but if you get caught with cocaine on you, I don't really think you deserve to go to prison for that. I don't think they should be like, yeah, keep your cocaine, sir. Just keep having a good time. And it's like, nah, just fucking go on and like treat someone like they are when you catch them drunk in public. Like, all right, going to the drunk tank, you have a fine. You have to get bailed out. But after that, it's it. Like,
yeah, the big drug that they send people to prison for is methamphetamine.
Well, it's because we have an opioid crisis.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Opioids are like the fucking highest, but all of it's just like, you're really gonna fuck up this person's life whose life is already dog shit because of drugs, and you think that's gonna be, gonna help them?
Yeah, it should have, and the prison sentences have more like treatment centers, sort of thing.
Well, I mean, it's insane. I mean, the amount of money we spend on prison. Why not create fucking public rehab center? Yeah. I mean, you could even say it's kind of like prison if we did mandatory rehab. But if you caught with if a certain level of narcotics, like of course not marijuana, but if you get caught with like a high class narcotic like cocaine or like heroin, I feel like the sentence was like, all right, well, you have to do a couple weeks in rehab.
Yeah, but it'd also be, I think getting sentenced to a rehab center, the stigma is different. There's less of a stigma
with rehab than prison.
I think so. Prison's
just I think rehab still has a stigma to it. I think absolutely. Like, I mean, like the way we look at like former drug addicts is really shitty in this country. We look at them as that they're always criminals. I mean, that doesn't help with the prison system because then they're also criminals on top of that. But I mean, like, I think someone who used to be addicted to drugs and gets clean is like a fine person. I don't really think that says anything about your character.
Yeah, I agree.
I do not. If someone's like a current drug addict, I will feel bad for them. I don't try to associate with them anymore if they're a current drug addict, depending on how close I am. If it was like someone super, super close to me, I'd help them, like, or at least try to help them to the extent until it became not inconvenient for my life, but like too detrimental for my life. Like if it started being too just negative on my life, like on either my health or my finance. Like if they were constantly like stealing from me or something like that, I guess there's a point you have to draw a line.
Yeah, our listeners are like, is this still a comedy podcast?
I know, dude. We shouldn't have got. I was worried about this. This is why I feel bad about it. I was like, I'm trying to be comedic right now, but it just fucking sucks. Everything sucks. So I'm trying to be funny. All right. Arts. Comedy. There we go. All right. We're back in it. How do you feel about love, Evan? You think you're going to find it? Oh, this is a fun thing. Let's bring this up. Your family thinks we're a gay couple.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do. You told me that off the air, but I told you to save the details. This will be funny. Your family thinks we're gay. No. Your family thinks we're gay. Now, there's nothing wrong with being gay, Evan. I don't know why you're getting so defensive about this. Let's talk about it. I cherish the idea. That means our friendship's so good that your family is rejecting your identified sexuality, and not even out of insult. They're just they can't believe that you could love me this much platonically.
No, we were just.
I think that's a cherish to our friendship.
We were just hanging out at my sister's wedding, and they didn't know who you were, and they just saw us, drunkenly dancing the New Order and just doing our thing. And they're like, okay, Evan might have a partner or something. I don't know.
Well, come on, tell me the conversation. This isn't just like laxly brought up. Someone said something to you in what order?
My parents.
What'd they say to you and how did they ring it up? I want to
Like,
know. I want to know.
They're like, you and Drew were the dancing was the talk of the wedding.
Oh my God, so it wasn't just them, it was your whole family thought you were gay.
No,
That's amazing.
People. It was just a couple people.
Awesome. Keep going, dude. Tell me more. I mean, that wasn't just one line. They didn't just say that. Like, tell me, come on, break it down. This is like the epitome of great podcasting.
It was just pretty quick. And then I was like, well, we were just having a good time. We were drinking. We were just having fun. That's what me and Drew, we go to weddings, we drink, and we dance the New Order, pretty much.
Dude, your family, this is like the first conversation, and you didn't even really say no. That's the best part about it.
No, I said no. Right before I was like, no, we're just having a good time. We're hanging out.
That sounds like such a bullshit answer, dude. It sounds like we're a gay couple. Oh fuck. And you know what? I don't know if I brought this up on the podcast, but I told all of my like friends about this, that I was going to try my best to make your family think that.
Well, I guess it worked.
Dude, I'm like, yeah, it totally worked. I can't wait, dude. There's so much of your family members are like, is that Evan's boyfriend?
You're sitting next to me
That's
wearing
so
like
great,
a $300 suit.
and not even on a homophobia thing. It's just funny that people would jump to that conclusion because it's weird for us to be this good of friends. And also, it really is. I'm telling you, man, if like I was just saying, if you were a girl, I would totally date you in a second at this point. If you were a girl. Or sorry, not a girl. If you were a female, because I don't understand. I don't really fully understand the whole sexuality hemisphere anymore, but I'm attracted to vaginas, whatever that means. Now, if you had one of those, I'm not insulting anyone.
That's a t-shirt.
I'm not
idea.
even insulting the whole thing. I just
whatever that means.
I'm honest. I can figure out politics. I've read the things on gender, and it's very confusing for me. And I'm not trying to offend anyone, but all I'm gonna say is I'm attracted to vaginas. That's the base knowledge I know of what I like. I'm not gonna say genders. I like vaginas. I will only talk about reproductive organs. So if you had one of those, I would. That's why I don't like. If you find someone that you like that much and they have the sexual organs you're attracted to, I feel like you should just go for it.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, if there's two dudes out there listening to this podcast and you're bros, but you also both like dicks, fucking run with it. If you're a girl listening to this podcast and you have a best friend that's a dude and you're attracted to dudes, why aren't you dating them? You're stupid for not at least trying it. If you're a guy listening to this and one of your best friends is a girl and you're attracted to a girl and you haven't dated them, you're a moron. If you're a girl listening to this with your other friend that's a girl and you both like girls, you should try it because that's all it is, right? You just find someone you really like personality-wise, and if you also are attracted to their genitals, that's it, man. That's love.
Someone's listening to this, they're like, this is the most inspirational thing I've ever heard on the podcast.
Or if you're found someone that has, it doesn't identify by their reproductive organs at all, and you don't care about reproductive organs at all for sexuality. I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, if your friend is non-binary and you're also non-binary and you're both pansexual,
there's still time to not speak. There's still time to not say your
I think I'm nailing this. I think I'm nailing this. If you and your friend are both non-binary and you're both like pansexual and you really like each other personally, then you should just do it. Try out sex and see if you guys can create a relationship, because you're stupid if you don't at this point, because that's all love is. It's just if you can like that person and also be attracted to whatever they are in their pants or not in their pants or whatever. I think I'm doing pretty good. I don't think I'm pissing anyone off, even if I sound dumb. Like, there's no way I can be pissing anyone off. I'm not saying anything negative. Whatever you like. But
Someone's gonna clip shot.
if anything you like sexually is in the other person, and you also like them on a personal level, if you like them as a person, and like
you sound like the worst.
There's
sexual
sexual stuff.
Relationship.
There's
coach.
sexual stuff. Look, it's very hard. I'm like really. This is me. Like it's very inconvenient to talk about this stuff nowadays, and it's not. Maybe this is how it should be. And probably if I grew up with this stuff, it would be easier. But now it's just like, all right, how the fuck do I word this properly? It feels like I'm walking through a minefield.
Let me write my thoughts down.
Yeah, let me write this down on pen and paper. Maybe I won't get it. It's canceled as much. I guess it's essentially so if like, love is love, and if you can be attracted to that love, you should fuck them forever and go find happiness.
Sound like a comedic character in the.
What is love? What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt. I've had this question. I've been going through this, man. What is love, Evan? What do you find love is?
Baby, don't hurt me.
No, honestly, let's get deeper. What do you find love? Is it coming? Is love coming? Is it nothing in your pants? Is what is love?
There's definitely a rock band that has a song called "Is Love Coming?" and it's spelled that way.
Dude, that's gonna be the new Great White Rhino song. I'm gonna write that one. It's gonna be a dance song. Is love coming? Coming?
Is love coming? Advancing
coming
girls,
tonight.
like, oh my god!
But honestly, what is it? Where do you find it?
Just a deep connection that's to another person.
See?
Where you have a positive relationship.
Where
you can inspire devotion in another human being. That's like the Wikipedia term or something.
Okay. I'm going on a deeper level on this. So I've been trying to think of what exactly love is. And I feel like love is one of two things, right? Love is either, if you want to go from a real objective science-based point of view, technically in the realm of science, love isn't real. It doesn't exist. There's no such thing that indicates love is actually a thing. Right. So love would technically just be endorphins, dopamine. It's all the happy chemicals. It's finding someone that releases those happy chemicals in you. So you find someone that releases happy chemicals in you. And that's why people break up, because as soon as you don't get, essentially it's a drug. As soon as you're not getting these happy chemicals out of your brain from being with them or talking to them, you want to cut it off, because that was the only reason you felt for them in the first place, was that. That is a very pessimistic view of love. But it's real and it's scientific, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But that's it. And that's why it's like when people go through hard times, they usually break up, right? Would that be a fair enough example? Like a marriage goes through the loss of a child, and the other person starts resenting the other person, and they're no longer getting chemicals from the other person. And honestly, the more they're with them, the more distressed they are, more stuff. So I like when relationships go through hard times and break up, would be because you're not getting the chemicals you desired or got from that person in the first place that made you want to be with them. Pessimistic scientific. The other reason of love would be the meaning and purpose that person brings to you as a human, and it has not to do with how they make you feel. That you love this person because what they mean to you, what your relationship means to you, and the purpose of you guys being together means to you, so that it can bring an overall sense of happiness in the form of purpose and meaning, but it might not come and always, it might not be based off of the chemicals that you're getting. So even though it might be you sad to be with them sometimes, your happiness is an overwhelming sense of purpose and meaning from that connection you guys have.
I think that's the most profound thing you've ever said on this podcast.
Yeah, right? It's almost like I broke down what love is on a spiritual level. But I'm a scientific guy, and based off of my reality in life, I honestly think that's just some poetic bullshit some fucking loser made up. So it's just the endorphin drips. We're all just drug addicts for different reasons. So love isn't real. It's essentially, maybe it is. I like to believe. I want to try to believe in the meaning of it. I'm going to try to keep on the idea that the meaning exists. But then I even try to, now, if you want to be a real stickler, you could say it's both. But I feel like if you say it's both, each one counteracts the meaning of the other. You can't say that this relationship is meaningful and purposeful to you if you're in it for the chemicals. And you can't say the chemicals are meaningful, or you can't say like get meaning from the chemicals because that's just a drug addiction. So I really think they are mutually exclusive. Not saying you can't have both in a relationship, but they can't be both reasons, or not in a relationship, but in love. Because I mean, like our friendship is essentially love. Like I love you, even if it's not on a
People
romantic
interpret it
level.
as love.
Yeah, it's like it's not a romantic sense, but like, do I like you because of the endorphins I get from you, or do I like you, or do I love you for the purpose our friendship and meaningness it gives me? What do you feel, Evan?
I love the purpose of insulting you on a weekly basis. So this
Yeah,
is
I do.
what I
Right?
love. That gives me the chemicals.
I give you a purpose to live, Evan. I give you a podcast. This is your reason to live.
Put that on a t-shirt.
The purpose to live.
My purpose to
podcast.
live is my podcast. People would buy that. That would sell out in like a week.
Then my purpose to live is my podcast with 3 listeners.
Put the podcast link on the back. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, I think we got to wrap up and do plugs here shortly. But hopefully, everyone, sorry, podcast not as funny as usual. I didn't even shower today or shave. I mean, I smell.
You're like,
I've been having night terror. I haven't been sleeping. Dude, the funny thing is, remember when we were supposed to do the podcast and then I just didn't respond? And I told you I just woke up. Do you know how I woke up? I wasn't even trying to fall asleep. I've been sleeping like such shit. I went out on the porch to smoke a cigarette and I fell asleep sitting up in a chair smoking a cigarette. I went.
It's in your mouth. You're like,
no, I was smoking. I was holding it. It was just completely burned down towards the fucking filter when I was holding it in my hand. And I was sleeping, like not even leaning back, like head down in the fucking outside in the front yard. But now, dude, have I ever talked about night terrors on this podcast?
I don't think so. No.
Okay, well, we don't have a lot of time, so this will be the last thing. I suffer from night terrors, as I say. And if you want, do you know what night terrors are, Evan? Or not night terrors? What the fuck am I talking about? I don't sleep. I don't suffer from night terrors. God damn it! I suffer from sleep paralysis. I don't know why I called it night terrors. Night terrors sounds way cooler. Night terrors is gonna be the name of my metal band.
That does sound like a great.
A good metal band. No, I suffer from sleep paralysis. Suffer is a strong word. That makes me sound like I have an illness. I just live a shitty life.
Struggle. It's a struggle.
Yeah, a struggle.
It's different.
Sleep paralysis is okay. So you know what a living nightmare is? You know, like the expression "living nightmare." Okay, so sleep paralysis is a living nightmare. Do you know what it is?
Explain.
Did I explain this? Okay, so sleep paralysis. Yeah. I can't remember. Fuck, I should probably bring this up. I'm talking on my ass. But essentially, it's like I don't know what the scientific reason is. I should know it because I have it, but I just don't really do that much research into it because I try not to think about it. It's like when you wake up, but your body's not fully up yet, but your mind's up essentially. So like you can't move even though you're up.
Yeah.
So you're like paralyzed while being awake, but also your body's still kind of in sleep mode. So you're sort of dreaming. So it's like you're kind of technically someone's call it hallucinations, but it's still like your dreams. So you're creating these things, but then it's always a nightmare form. And usually there's like some kind of being that walks over you and kind of like usually people see death or a demon. And then you like try screaming or trying to move or anything like that, but you can't because your body's paralyzed because your body's still technically up. Yeah. Oh yeah. I suffer from it quite often. It's horrendous. Not quite often. I do in times of stress. So right now, it's been a hard week.
Yeah, I mean, that stinks.
No, it's kind of funny. I'm trying to, this is supposed to be re-riffing a bit, but I'm trying to work on a bit about it. I think there's somewhere in a punchline about saying like, hey, you know, it's a living it's like, you know, oh man, sleep paralysis is a living nightmare. No, that's what it is. That's how you define it's a living nightmare.
You can talk about, I've been pretty lonely lately, but hey, I got this ghost.
At least I have the Grim Reaper who greets me every morning.
It's my buddy. It's my best friend.
At least the demon above my bed that says he's gonna take my soul every morning.
Like, hey, personal interaction.
Yeah. So that's that. Now Evan gets a new thing to worry about. All right. Well, let's do plugs. Yeah, I mean, I'll be all right. Honestly, everything I said, I will be fine. I'm smiling. Like,
after all that, you're like,
I can understand though. It kind of sounds like everything after I said. I'm like, yeah, I'll be fine. Just go plug that. I'm gonna be seriously. I'll be fine. Hard times breed better men. Dusty Rhodes. I mean, he was talking about recessions and shit, but whatever. Tomato. Right? Wrestling.
That's how we end the podcast with a Dusty Rhodes quote.
Yep. All right. Well, if you guys want to smash the like button and crush the subscribe button, make sure to do that in these corners. Leave a comment. Talk about, I don't know, fucking what do you think about Taliban's us leaving Afghanistan? What's your favorite Dave Chappelle's skit from his show?
What you think love is?
Yeah, what you think love is. Oh, my pizza's here. One sec. You just leave it at the door. Thanks, man. I paid online, so the tips online.
Perfect timing.
Yeah. And shit,
comment your favorite pizza topping.
What? Yeah, your favorite pizza topping.
Comment whatever. I don't know.
Mine's hope for the future. It's
you call Domino's. Can I get a large X round with a little bit of hope for the future?
Can I get a little bit of extra faith in humanity?
They're like, sure, we have.
And can I do a double peace and prosperity for all?
They're like, does garlic work?
Wouldn't it be great if the Domino's was like, yeah, and then just fixed all the problems? It's like, why has no one tried ordering this before? Like, who knew Domino's had all the answers?
Yeah.
If I just asked them, I'm like, yeah, they're like, what can I do for you today? I'm like, yeah, can I order end of world hunger? And Domino's goes, call corporate right now. I was like, what? Call fucking corporate. Come on the line. Get on the line. They call corporate. Domino's succeeds. It throws away all their assets and just solves world hunger in one day by giving a medium 2-topping pizza to every person in the world. It's universal basic pizza. I talked about universal basic income. I want UBP, dude. Universal basic pizza.
UBP.
UBP. All right. Make sure, if you're listening to this on Spotify, download.
I'd rather have that than the money.
I know you would, Evan. Just get one free Domino's 2-topping pizza a month.
Never leave my house.
If you guys are watching this or listening to this on Spotify, make sure you hit follow, download all episodes. If you're listening on Twitter, make sure you hit follow and download all the episodes. And besides that, you can find us on Facebook and Inept Pit. Make sure you like the page for updates. Also, you can follow us on Twitter. We don't use it, but go ahead and follow us anyways. And you can contact us at ineptpit@gmail.com for all questions, concerns, or booking details. Except we're not going to be able to do a show unless Evan drives me there. So make sure you give us a big head in advance. Unless it's within walking distance, I'm probably not gonna be able to do it. Also, you can catch me August 21st, Hamlin Street Pub, 8 o'clock, $5. I'll be doing 25 minutes, little nice feature set, and the more people come, the more money I make. So please show up if you want to show support. And I really need the money right now, so please come show support and give me money. You're not just giving me money. You're exchanging money for entertainment, and that's all I can do, man. That's all I can do. Otherwise, Evan, do your plugs.
Not a whole lot. Just Twitter Salsa7, Instagram Salsa7.
All right, guys, that's been the show. Thank you for listening. And you know what? The Taliban won.